Hi, welcome to this guided play-along that accompanies my Shapeshifter game video. If you've not seen the main video yet, make sure you start there. Everything will be explained clearly in that video. You can also download the PDF, which contains all the notes you'll need for any instrument, and you can take your time getting to grips with those before we jump in. But if you're ready to join us, we're going to go through the Shapeshifter game together. So, the first thing we need to do before we begin is just make sure we've got that shape ready on our instruments. So here's the first of those shapes. This is what we're going to play on chord 1. I've got the notes on the screen now and it's in the PDF. Make sure you've got those 3 notes ready, and here's the rhythm that we're going to play it with, the rhythm that comes from Bright Mississippi by Thelonious Monk. It goes 1, 2, 3. So take your time, get those notes ready to go on your instrument, pause the video if you need to. This is the shape that we're going to use on chord 4. So we're removing 2 of the notes within that triad, but we're keeping our anchor note the same. Our anchor note is this one. And the other 2 notes move up a step. So this note here goes up to, and this one goes up to. I'm deliberately not saying the names of the notes now because I don't know what instrument you might be playing, but you can find those notes on your instrument by using the PDF. So this is the shape on chord 4. Make sure you've got that one ready to go, and then let's work on just shifting smoothly from that one from the one on chord 1 to the one on chord 4. So we're going to go. Let's go back and forth like that together a few times. I'll just loop it around and around. Join in with me if you want to. Here we go. 1, 2, back and forth. 2, 3. Let's do it one more time. Fantastic. Okay, let's add the next one. This is what we're going to play on chord 5. Now, we're going to keep this note the same from our triad. That's our anchor note, our note that's in common from the 2 shapes. So that note, then, and. Make sure you've got that one ready now. Just take a moment and pause the video if you need to. Okay, let's try going backwards and forwards now from our chord 1 shape to our chord 5 shape. We'll go back and forth 3 times like we did a moment ago. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now the last bit of our warm-up, and it's really worth going through this warm-up. I know it might seem like, we want to get to the game, but this is going to make the game so much more intuitive, and we're going to be doing less thinking and more just getting into the music if we make sure we've got this bit done first. We've got some muscle memory. We've got these movements locked in. So we're going to go back and forth now with all 3 of our shapes. That's our chord 1 shape, then our chord 4 shape, then our chord 1 shape again, chord 5, and chord 1. Let's do what we just did a moment ago, playing the shape with the rhythm in time, and we're going to do chord 1, chord 4, chord 1, chord 5, and chord 1 in a loop like that. Let's do that. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Great, and then the final thing I like to do is just take the rhythm away for a minute and just see if we can move round nice and quickly like this. Take a moment now on your own to figure that out. Pause the video. You don't have to go as fast as I did just then if that's a little bit too tricky. But the main thing is that you're kind of just getting those movements quickly and easily, and you're not having to stop and work out what the next shape is. So take a moment to do that now. Okay, fantastic. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start putting those over our chord sequence. So the chord sequence, just to remind you, is going to be, in terms of our bars or measures, it's going to be 4 bars of chord 1, 2 bars of chord 4, 2 bars of chord 1, 2 bars of chord 5, and 2 bars of chord 1. So I like to say that out loud to kind of remember it. It's 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 5, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 5, 5, 1, 1. The only thing is, our phrase that we're playing, our shape, is actually 2 bars long. It's not 1 bar long. So when we go through the tune, just because we've said that we've got 4 bars of chord 1, we're not actually going to play the shape 4 times. It's a 2 bar long shape, so we're going to play it twice. So it's going to go, in terms of the number of shapes that we're going to play, we're going to do our chord 1 shape twice, then our chord 4 shape once, and our chord 1 shape once, and then our chord 5 shape once, and our chord 1 shape once. I feel like that didn't make a lot of sense. I started to doubt myself halfway through that. But basically, we're going to play chord 1, chord 1, chord 4, chord 1, chord 5, chord 1. That's the order of our shape. So it sounds like this. Fantastic. So let's try it over the backing. I'm going to put the backing track on and I'm going to let it play. So in the main video, I just demonstrated it once. This time, I'm going to go all the way through that 3 times. I'm going to stick to the shape. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to embellish it. I'm not going to improvise. I'm just going to get it really, really locked in. Going to be moving smoothly, getting used to where it changes and just trying to kind of relax into it. So let's go round it together. I'll go round 3 times. If you're not quite sure the first time, you can just sit and listen and then try and join in when you're ready, and you can always rewind and have another go. So here we go with the backing, playing our shape over the chords. Here we go. Round again. One last time. Okay, fantastic. I know that that might seem a little bit kind of stiff or, you know, a bit strict that we're just sticking to that for now and we're not changing it. But just remember what we're really doing here. We're not kind of, we're not learning a lick. We're not learning something complicated. We're trying to embed something deeply into our subconscious and into our intuition so that when we do improvise with it, we're not thinking at all. We just know instinctively where the shape is, where the notes are, and we can play without thinking. Now in level 2 of the game, we're going to stick mostly to the shape just like we just did, but we're going to be a little bit more free to embellish now. So we don't want to do anything too extreme. We don't want to lose that shape, and we don't want to do anything that's going to take us off course. But we do want to just start bringing a little bit of our kind of a bit of creativity to it, a bit of our own personality to it, and just start to play with it and see what the possibilities are. So what we'll do is I'm going to let the backing track run so it goes round 3 times. The first time I'm going to play, and I don't want you to do anything except listen this time, because I want you to just get the idea. If this is your second time through the play along, then feel free to get stuck in. But if this is your first time, just listen so you can hear what I'm talking about, and then join in with me on the second time. So we'll play together on the second time through. I'm going to be doing the same thing as you. You're going to be playing and embellishing. I'm going to be playing and embellishing. We'll both just play over each other. And then on the third time around, I'll drop out. But I want you to keep going on your own and see if you can kind of stick to that form. Let's just see what happens. See whether you get lost. See whether you can stick to it. Okay, so here we go. First time just me. Second time together. Third time you on your own. Here we go. Okay, join in. On your own. Chord 4. Chord 1. Chord 5. Chord 1. Okay, so level 3 is where we're going to keep that shape in our minds. We're going to still be sticking to it broadly, but we're free to take a lot more risks with it. So, you know, there isn't kind of a particular way you have to do that. It's just about experimentation. So we're still using the same notes. If you want to add a few more other notes in for color, you can as well. But we still want to know that we're on that shape, shifting in the right places. Let's follow the same structure we did a moment ago. I'll go first, you join me on the second time, and then I'll drop out, and it's just you on your own for the third time. Okay, here we go, level 3. Join in. On your own. Okay, brilliant. There are 2 more levels I want to take you through on this today, or 2 more ways that we're going to approach it. So the next one I want to do is we're going to keep these shapes in our mind. We're going to have them ready to go. But what we're actually going to do is just play a solo freely. So we're free to use other ideas now. We're free to move completely away from the shapes, to use any other scales or any other chords, or, you know, anything else that we're used to playing on a 12-bar blues, or just use your ears. And we're not going to necessarily play the shapes all the way through, but we are just going to drop them in here and there. So they're going to give us something to kind of, you know, something we can grab onto, or something we can throw in, just a color that we can use in our solo. So let's give it a go. And again, I'd like to follow the same structure. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's all very well me explaining what I'm asking you to do in words, but actually when you hear me do it, it makes a lot more sense. So listen to me the first time, join me the second, and then I'll give you space to try it on your own on the last one. Okay, here we go. Join me. Okay, fantastic. So if you've seen the main video, you know where I'm going next with this. We're going to move on to flipping our shape upside down. And we kind of, when we do that, we take something quite familiar, quite simple, and turn it into something completely different without actually introducing any new material. So we're taking 5, 3, 1, high, medium, low, and turning it into low, medium, high, 1, 3, 5. So make sure you've got that ready on your instrument. And then when we move to chord 4, same thing as before, same shape, same notes we were using, but we flip them the other way up, low to high. And finally, chord 5, flipping them upside down. So pause the video now and work those out if you need to. I've put them all out, laid out for you in the PDF as well. Take your time, make sure they're ready to go. So we should have our 3 shapes sounding like this. Fantastic. Right, let's zoom through the levels a little bit faster this time. I'm gonna put that backing track back on. It goes around 3 times. The first chorus, we're gonna both play together all the way through this one. First chorus, we're gonna play Monk's rhythm with our 3 notes going upwards, exactly as Monk played it. So no changing it this time, just repeating it all the way through. Second time through on the backing track, we're not gonna stop in between. It's gonna go straight on. Second time through, we're going to start to embellish it a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. And on the third time through, we're going to go crazy. We're just going to do whatever we want, keep the shape in our minds, throw it in when we want to, but it's just there as a kind of, you know, a thing that we can use. It's like our kind of fallback thing, but we don't have to play it. Okay, here we go. First time as is, second time embellished, third time do whatever you want. Here we go. Okay, let's loosen up a bit. And then let it all go. Here we go. So the next step with this is get your own backing track, something on a 12-bar blues, and see if you can carry on with this. You've got to spend some time with it. And the other thing you could do is take those 3 notes and see if you can come up with a new phrase using them. You could invent a new rhythm, you could change the order of the notes, you could do anything you want to. You could make it a longer phrase, a shorter phrase. But the key thing is work out how to mold it, how to shape it so it fits through those chords, and then practice taking it all the way through. This is such a fantastic exercise for building fluency, and when you do this a lot, you're going to find that when you're playing over chords and you're improvising, you're just going to know where those notes are without thinking about them at all. It becomes much, much more smooth, much more instinctive, and you don't need to rely on theory or on licks. Thanks for staying with me through this video. I hope you found it useful. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop me a comment and let me know how you got on with this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.